Given the choice between going out or staying at home, most of the time I would rather stay at home. Now, does that make me boring? Or antisocial? Or is that asocial? Or is this what happens to you when you get older? Well, I don't think it's any of those things. I'm sure there is a much simpler explanation. I'm trying to work out why home increasingly wins. And I've realised there are several reasons. Some of them are about the world around me. Some of them are definitely about other people. But I think the biggest reason is inside me. Here's a good example. The other day I met a friend for a few beers in York at a favourite pub. We met at 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening. Now, 30 years ago that would probably have been a Friday or a Saturday night. Now today you couldn't pay me to get into York City Centre on a Saturday night. But it can't be about age, because my father-in-law, who's in his 80s, will happily go into the city when it's absolutely heaving, and he'll sit in a packed bar for hours and talk to complete strangers. Now, I can't think of anything worse, and I'm only 65. So no, this can't just be about getting older. I think part of the answer is that I experience people differently to him. He's an extrovert, I'm an introvert, an ISTJ. And that doesn't mean I don't like people. I do actually like some people. Not many, but some. But crowds, well, they drain me. They use up my energy. I can't stand a packed bar or a busy restaurant, a crowded street. To me, it's just constant noise and mental overload. And after a while, I've had enough. Now, my wife is completely different. Take her to a busy restaurant or pub and she'll think, oh, this is great. What a buzz. Whereas I think, where's the quietest table and when are we leaving? Now, neither of us is wrong. We just experience the same environment differently because of our personalities. My in-laws, as I said earlier, they're in their 80s. And they still look for reasons to go out every single day at the busiest time of the day. They drive to a shopping centre or they catch a train to London. As I said, I'm 65 and I look for reasons not to go out. So yes, personality is obviously part of it. But it doesn't explain everything. How can it? Going anywhere feels like harder work for me than it used to do. For example, if you take a simple Saturday night out at a favourite country pub, maybe to go and have a steak and a few beers, and for me that's the Victoria at Cattle, run by Steve Balcombe, who used to play for Leeds United. I recommend you pay it a visit. You get in the car, you hit traffic on the way. When you get there, the car park is full to overflowing. Eventually, you find somewhere to park. You get into the pub and it's rammed. You sit down, you have your meal, and you can barely hear each other speak over the noise of everyone else chatting, vying for attention. But somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, you find yourself thinking, is this actually worth it? I hope it's over soon. And it's not about the cost either. Although let's face it, through no fault of pub landlords like Steve, it is getting silly. Here in the UK, it's now over £30 for a steak. It's £6 for a pint of beer. You don't get much change out of 200 quid if there's 4 of you. No, it's not about the money. It's about the friction, the time, the energy, just the hassle of it all. Because here is the simple reality. Home has got no friction. There is no traffic to navigate, no parking issues, no queues at the bar for those £6 pints, no noise. And at £7 for 6 cans of Spanish lager from the local supermarket, the beer is a lot cheaper too. But before you think I'm becoming a tight-fisted hermit, I want to make an important distinction here. I haven't stopped going out. I've just changed when I go out. Take Saturday mornings here in York. Absolutely fine. I go out at 9 o'clock before the masses have arrived, the young people coming down from Newcastle for the day to get pissed, to avoid the tourists coming in their coaches, parking up and flooding into the city. And Saturday evening, absolutely no chance. York is like a war zone. You want to be around York railway station for the last trains northbound. Trust me, you don't want to be. Sunday evening, completely different. They've all gone home. No doubt they're recovering for work on Monday. The weekend tourists in those coaches, well, they've mostly jumped back on the coaches, gone off to the next destination on their itinerary. The city is so much quieter. I can get a seat at my favourite bar. And there's another thing I like about Sunday evenings now. Once upon a time, during my adult working life, Sunday evening had this slightly melancholy feeling to it. I look forward to Friday, but on Sunday evening, the weekend is ending. Monday's coming. And I used to get the Sunday evening blues, I'll admit, even though I enjoyed my job and I was busy. But these days, it's just another day. Every day is Sunday, with the benefit that it's also off-peak. It's a chance for an experience without those madding crowds that I talked about earlier. It's great for a pint with friends like the other day, or for going to the cinema, or nipping out to the restaurant if you don't fancy cooking and having an early bird menu. It's something to look forward to now. It can be an event. I feel the same about restaurants in midweek. Maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday. They're not as busy. And the early bird menus are fantastic value. They're so much cheaper. 20 quid does actually go a long way. And then there's travel. I go off peak whenever I can, especially on holidays. I don't see the point in fighting the crowds and the kids in July and August when you can go somewhere warm in November or January. So I haven't stopped experiencing the world. All that's happened is that I've changed when I experience it. And there's another change that I've noticed in myself. More experiences don't necessarily mean more life. When I was younger, quantity seemed to matter more. Go out more, do more, see more people, fill the diary, keep busy. It was frantic and it was relentless. Now I'm much more interested in whether I'll actually remember it. Let's say I have a budget of a few £100 a month to spend on eating out and socialising. Now I could spread that across several inexpensive, uneventful meals. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But a few weeks later, I would struggle to remember any of them. Or I could take the entire budget and spend it on one exceptional experience and then stay at home in between for the rest of the time. Maybe I could spend it on a day trip down to London to see my son, to eat with him in an interesting restaurant, eat something different, a cuisine that I've never tried. Maybe afterwards we could visit the theatre and make a really memorable day of it before heading back up to York on the late train and avoiding those youngsters who came down from Newcastle because it's Wednesday, not Saturday. 6 months later, I'll still remember it. I will have taken quite a few photos and some video, of course, which I might even use on this channel as B-roll. Now, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's the same spend with completely different value. So this isn't really about money either. It's about utilising time, managing energy, and creating memories. And not just that, it's about getting real value for the expenditure of time and money. The same is true of any form of socialising that I do. I don't want to go to a dinner party every Saturday night. I did that 30 years ago. Now, a few times a year with people I really like, great. That is wonderful. Quality has gradually replaced quantity. And that brings me to what I think may be the biggest change of all, my home. At some point, home stopped being the place I was waiting to leave before going to work. And it became the place that I genuinely wanted to be. When you're younger, home can feel like the place where nothing is happening. It's the place to recover from those boozy nights out. It's the place where you get bored. The interesting stuff, well, it's out there. It's out there. The pub, the restaurant, the party, the city, the sports event. But over time, you build your life around home. I enjoy cooking on a nice range cooker. I've got a barbecue and a pizza oven. I like to make coffee on my own espresso machine and not pay £4 at an expensive coffee shop. I like to experiment with different coffee beans and have a go at latte art. It is so much cheaper than those crowded coffee shops. Home is about your interests. It's your music, your routines. You make it comfortable to suit you. You make it yours. And eventually you realise something important. Home is not where you stay between the fun times. And once you've got that mindset, everything changes. An ordinary, uneventful night out is not competing with a boring night in anymore. It's competing with peace. And that is a much, much higher bar as far as I'm concerned. And this is where I think many people can misunderstand what's actually happening as you get older. From the outside, it can look like you've withdrawn from society. You don't go out as much. You make an effort to avoid crowds, you turn down invitations, you spend so much more time by preference at home. Are you retreating from life? No, that doesn't really fit. I love going out. I love going for walks out in the countryside and to the coast with my wife. I enjoy travel 6, 7, 8 weeks of the year to London, to Portugal, to Scotland, hopping over to America, but it has to be in the right dosage. I also enjoy a good restaurant. I love seeing my son. I enjoy a pint or 3 with a friend on a Sunday night. So no, I haven't lost interest in experiences. I've just become so much more selective about them. And the older I've become, something has to clear a much higher bar to make me give up my peace. I don't want less life, I just want it to be worth the cost. So have I become boring? A grumpy old git? For my American viewers, a git is an unpleasant, foolish or annoying person. Well, my wife thinks so. Yeah, and I'm sure plenty of other people who know me might agree with her. But antisocial, or should that be asocial? Well, I did go for that pint the other day with the friend. So clearly I'm not. And is it just getting older? Well, my 80-odd-year-old father-in-law suggests otherwise. I think I've simply stopped assuming that going out is better than staying in, because it's not. I don't think my life has become smaller for staying at home. The price of admission has just got higher. So what about you? Please share your story. Have you found yourself wanting to stay home more as you've got older? Or are you the complete opposite, like my 80-odd-year-old in-laws? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if this video resonated with you, watch this one next. It's about how time seems to be flying by insanely fast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.